Hi everyone, Latrice here with Sterling TV, and today I get to interview Patrick Leo.
Hello.
Patrick works for Walny Legal Group, and the reason why I met Patrick not too long ago, he just recently joined the firm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we met and had coffee, and he was telling me all about his practice area, which in my experience as both an attorney for parents going through divorce and as a guardian ad litem appointed by the courts to represent children's best interests, I've run across a lot of situations where parents are having problems helping their kid with discipline at school or behavior at school, or they're falling behind academically, and the parents are getting frustrated because, number one, they don't know what to do or what to expect of the school. I think they also are just kind of waiting to see what happens next, and I think today you guys will at least get a good idea of what the school should be doing or can do to help your child, and what you should be doing, and when to bring in Patrick to help you along with the process, because there are times that experts are always needed, right?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Patrick, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I kind of break my practice into two areas with the special education, into eligibility and then implementation. With the eligibility piece, sometimes it's parents coming to me and saying, I think there's something wrong, or there's some kind of challenges, my student or my child's not making progress. What do I do? So helping them through the referral process and how to do that properly so that the school district starts to evaluate the student.
Okay.
Then on the implementation side, it's if the student already has an IEP and again, things are not going well, or they just have general questions about what should or shouldn't be happening. And they contact me, and I'm able to look over the IEP and say whether the goals are appropriate or whether there's enough progress along the way.
So, what does an IEP stand for?
Sure, it's Individualized Education Program.
Okay.
It's the document that the team, which consists of the parent and the school personnel, come up with together, and it's supposed to be individualized to that child.
Okay, so I talked previously to Patrick about a guardian ad litem case that I was on, where both son and daughter had some behavioral and academic problems at school, and unfortunately they had been transferred a few times by the parents prior to anyone, either the parents either asking for an evaluation to be done or the school requesting or doing an evaluation of the kids with the parents' permission. So is it common that the parents will have to request an evaluation?
So under the law, the district has the affirmative duty under their child find mandate. So what that means is the district are the experts. They know what's typical and not typical development. And if they see a student who's either academically struggling or having problems with behavior, they should be the ones to start the referral process by contacting the parents and asking permission to do certain evaluations. So it's not all up to the parents.
Okay, that's great to know. And then after they determine to evaluate the child, the second phase you said was the implementation phase. So what's that phase about?
Yeah, so the first meeting we come up with the IEP, and sometimes I help in the background in that case. Sometimes I attend the meeting. But really that's the document that it's a living document. It's not the kind of thing where you meet once a year and then you just kind of set it aside and don't ever look at it again. So I also encourage parents to ask questions and be curious and get to know what's in the document, because it's just going to help them along the way with the district.
That's great. So typically, well, I don't want to say typically because every family is different. Either one parent will go to all the IEP meetings and the other parent won't. Or sometimes I see both parents going, but it's normally one or the other. Does it end up having an impact at all on what the IEP looks like, or no?
Yeah, definitely. In the case of divorce, sometimes one parent will be more involved than the other parent. and the district will start looking to the involved parent to start making those decisions. And that's not really depending on how custody is factored. That's not really how it should be. Both parents, unless there's some kind of domestic violence, restraining orders, things like that, should have access to go to the meetings, access to their records.
And so then the school, if both parents are involved, will get, I guess, more than one perspective, right? So if a child is acting one way in one home and similar in another, then the school can kind of start seeing some patterns or try to kind of come up with a plan too, with, I guess, both homes and talking to both parents about what to do.
Yeah, so with some eligibility determinations, sometimes a student will come with a diagnosis, but that's not enough. There's an eligibility process and criteria that need to take place at the district level. Sometimes with behaviors especially, if it's seen at school and only at one other, at one home, but that's not being reported, sometimes that can affect eligibility.
Okay.
Because of you're only getting half the story.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of parents, they've now heard you kind of explain the evaluation and implementation process for an IEP. When should parents contact you?
Yeah, anytime they have questions about either if they're having questions about should I make a referral or questions about how the IEP is being implemented. If they don't feel like the progress is being made, that's a great time to call, and we can talk through the different options from there.
So when you speak with them, you're kind of identifying if there's any issues you can help with too.
Yeah.
So you guys don't have to be afraid to call Patrick. He's more than happy to see if this is something he can or cannot help you with.
Right.
Because I think what happens is people don't feel empowered and then they get frustrated. And what I know we've talked previously before. I mean, we want to avoid if it's a discipline or expulsion problem. There are things that you can also help with that, because once a kid's expelled from a school district, I mean, what happens?
Yeah, so no other district in the state will have to take that student. Their options become very limited. So sometimes with expulsions, getting an attorney involved who knows the process at the beginning, the very, very beginning, is the best route, because there's things that can be done to avoid going through the hearing itself, which can lead to better options than actually after the hearing.
And I think my understanding is some parents don't understand how serious these hearings are. And it's kind of like what we describe as a trial. I mean, the school is going to produce evidence, and then you're going to have to make your own evidence or present something too. You're just not walking in to have a conversation.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So that's why I think based on experience, it's good for you guys to know that, hey, if expulsion is what the school is talking about, you definitely want to reach out to Patrick, because he can really help you with that whole hearing and what to expect, and hopefully not have the hearing at all.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure at the end of this video you guys have all of Patrick's contact information, and I'll see you guys next time here on Sterling TV. Have a great day.